Welcome to Gene and Mike do the New York Times crossword.
Hi, I'm Jean.
And I'm Mike. And today we are doing the crossword for Friday, March 21st, 2025. So, on what some of us like to call the start of spring break, did you do the crossword?
I did do the crossword.
And did it leave you broken?
Not at all.
Did it cause you to break up with laughter, perhaps?
It had some really good answers in it. Some great clues, but some fun answers for sure. Yes.
Did you find it difficult?
Not too bad. For a Friday, it was a good challenge, but I finished it fairly quickly.
I had the same experience, and I was surprised. Based on my times this week, I'm expecting Saturday to be impossible.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. I believe that Jeff Chen and Sam Mazursky will be actually maybe working with Sid Sivakumar. And the
tag teaming.
That's right. Well, yeah. And they'll end up creating the crossword that nobody, including themselves, with the answer key can solve. That'll be tough.
It might be like in Swahili or something.
Right.
Some very exotic foreign language that no one knows.
Whatever language it is that Sam Mazursky speaks, yes, that'll be the one. No, all three of those listeners, we are, of course, jesting. All three of those are incredibly good crossword constructors.
They are.
Yeah. It would be amusing to see them all tag up, though. And let's see if we can make the hardest crossword of all time. So there was no theme here.
Nope, it was a Friday, so themeless.
Yep. But still good.
Oh, yeah.
I was stumped by one across. Basketball's quadruple double, e.g. Turned out that the answer was rarity.
That is correct. Yes.
Which was sort of reassuring because I got the ITY and I thought, oh, it's rarity, because I thought I was going to have to come up with some technical basketball term. I guess that is the technical basketball term, the quadruple double.
Yes.
Which, if my math serves me correctly, is basketball octet. Because 4 times 2 would be 8.
Yes.
What is a quadruple double?
I don't know.
Is that like a drink that they have at halftime or something?
And we had this in a puzzle before.
We had quadruple double?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
It's a great clue.
It is. It is.
If only we knew what it meant.
I think at that time we looked it up, but I do not recall what it was.
Well, here's the thing. It's very rare, so perhaps it isn't too important. Because maybe it only happens like once every 50 years.
I think it only happened like 2 times.
Really?
It was, it is very rare.
Was it during the night of a blue moon? That would have been extra awesome.
I suppose, yes.
A quadruple double during a full moon that was blue and during a lightning storm. I don't know.
So, I learned something with 16 across. Image on a South African Krugerrand. That was an antelope.
Yes, I was trying to work Nelson Mandela.
Well, that was my first thought, but...
Yeah, Mandela did not fit.
No, it did not.
And I bet he'd be insulted to know that he lost out to an antelope. But...
True.
I guess there must be a lot of antelopes in South Africa.
Perhaps, yes. Some reason that it is honored. So,
18 across was Corsair, and the answer was Raider.
Right.
I thought that was a car.
A Corsair?
A Corsair.
No, there was the Corvair long ago.
Really? Close enough. As far as I'm concerned, the Corsair and the Corvair are exactly the same.
It's a Chevy Corvair.
So what is a Corsair then?
It's a raider. It's like a military person that, I don't think they were part of a formalized army, but, they're like a band of raiders, like the Goths or the Visigoths.
According to Wikipedia, it's a privateer or pirate, especially a Barbary Corsair, Ottoman and Berber privateers operating from North Africa. Okay, so a pirate, essentially, it sounds like.
Yes.
Of course, it also might be a PC component. Yeah, sometimes these searches aren't quite as accurate as you would like. 13 across was prosciutto?
Prosciutto.
Prosciutto. That was cured ham.
That is correct.
I got the ham and then figured out that it was cured at some point.
I did too. That's how I worked it. 5 down, trip me up. God who wears the belt, Megan Yord.
Megan Yord. Oh, yes. I have one of those in my closet.
And I always think whenever I see something that's vaguely Norse that involves a god, I'm like, oh, it's got to be Thor. And then it's usually Odin.
Oh.
So, of course, I put Odin, and it turned out to be Thor.
I put in Thor, and then I was having troubles, and I went to Odin, and then I went back to Thor. So, but I did start with Thor and ended with Thor.
I started with Odin. Did not make much headway there.
In that area, we had 2 down, freedom of expression, ? And that was artistic license.
Yes.
And I was able to get that with just a few letters, and I realized at this point, this is probably not going to be that difficult. A crossword. If they're going to give you a really long, because that spanned the entire height of the crossword answer, it wasn't a gimme or anything like that. But in fact, I don't even know if it needs a question mark. Freedom of expression is artistic license, right?
Right. Well, I got the license part, so I thought, oh, poetic license.
Oh.
Then I thought, no, maybe it's a literary license, but that didn't fit. And
as long as you didn't go for a driver's license.
Turned out to be artistic license.
Yes. That's interesting because I got the artistic part first.
Really?
Well, I sort of had enough of artistic to decide it could be artistic, and then I just kept going with license. And lo and behold, that was the correct answer.
There we go.
Another one, let's see, 10 down, Pokemon tagline.
That's one I got right away.
Really?
Gotta catch 'em all.
I got catch 'em all, and then I didn't know what to do at the beginning. So I had, can you catch 'em all? And I'm gonna catch 'em all, but it was gotta catch 'em all.
Gotta catch 'em all.
Or actually, I think at one point I had, don't ya catch 'em all, or something like that. I was flailing around.
Well, I can tell.
But it certainly helped when I got gotta.
Gotta catch 'em all.
Because that whole area there was causing problems for me. Player in the AL East. Well, there are probably like dozens of teams in the AL East, and I don't know any of them. It was Oriole.
Oriole, yes.
Which is actually a pretty common answer, it seems.
Baltimore Oriole.
Right. And then the one beneath it, Whip Up, and that was Russell.
Yes.
Which I eventually got. And then 7 down, dressing targets. I assumed that was going to be salads, but it was sores.
Sores, yes. I didn't think of salads. Huh.
Well, it wouldn't have fitted. That's probably why your brain immediately preemptively ruled it out.
Another little fun fact I learned here, 20 down, org with a commissioner. And of course, I was thinking, well, there's Major League Baseball, but it turned out to be IRS. The IRS has a commissioner.
See, I was thinking of the Gotham City Police Department.
Oh,
Commissioner Gordon, yes. Wrong commissioner, also a fictional one.
Yes, definitely.
Wonder why they call them a commissioner.
I don't know.
Why don't they just call them head honcho or something? We had 23 cross. It's a short walk from home, and I was like, oh, gas station, restaurant, but it was first base.
First base, yes, I thought that was funny. I put third base to start with, but then first base is much more logical because you walk from home to first base when you get a walk. You don't walk from third base home unless you've got a very bad pitcher.
Well, it's a short walk from home, so the implication would be you'd be walking from home to third base.
Right.
At which point you'd be arrested
Going the wrong way.
Well, arrested for being inebriated or something. I don't know. We had 26 across. Man, this is hard for me. Item not found much in cars nowadays. Atlas.
Right.
Probably because I don't have an atlas, and I'm trying to think of things that I don't have in the car. It was 5 letters long, and I thought, radio?
Well,
it's like
that was my first thought. I thought most cars still have a radio.
Well, they still have something glass in the front. Actually, in some cases, they're all glass in the front, right? But yeah, I was like, maybe they don't call it a radio anymore. If it doesn't have those push-in buttons that go clunk when you push them, it does not count as a radio. If it's a piece of glass that you touch or you talk to,
no, it's still a radio.
But this was an atlas.
An atlas, that is correct.
Is that now? Do you live up to that? Do you have an atlas in your car?
I do not.
Okay.
I do not, because I have...
CarPlay.
Yeah, well, no, I have on my phone, maps.
Right.
And I can,
Yes, I have an atlas in my pocket.
exactly. Mm-hmm. So.
We had 29 across, bad thing to blow, and that was big lead.
Yes.
That took me a bit.
Mm-hmm.
As did what that intersected one down, not pay as one goes, run a tab.
That's correct.
After I get it, it's obvious.
Uh-huh.
But as I was working on it, it's just like, I have no idea. So
I thought that was clever. And I love the one underneath big lead, 33 across. For a song, cheap as dirt.
yes,
I got the dirt,
really.
and I thought, it's got to be cheap as dirt. But then I'm like, that doesn't seem to be working. So I took that out. But then it's like, it's got to be cheap as dirt. So I put it back in, and it was cheap as dirt.
Right. As usual, as soon as I write the words cheap as, I have to end it with the word borscht. Cheap as borscht, but unfortunately that didn't fit. I hope one day, if that isn't a debut answer, that they make it a debut answer, that someone works cheap as borscht into the grid.
I've never heard that.
Really?
Cheap as borscht.
Cheap as borscht. Of course, with the sort of anti-Russian sentiment these days,
Probably not the best.
yeah, they might not want to work that in there.
Right. Mm-hmm. And 43 across, another interesting little fact. Attire often used in filming CGI scenes informally. MOCAP suit.
Yes.
Do you know what that stands for, MOCAP?
I believe it's motion capture suit.
Motion capture, of course, yes.
And they have like little sensors or something in it
Yes.
that they can then map the CGI stuff to the person.
Right, yeah, I've seen it. I just didn't realize that's what it was called, a MOCAP suit.
It's pretty amazing what they can do with those.
Oh, yeah.
I believe they're very expensive, but they're meant to be bought by large studios that could care less. It's like, it's under $1 million? Fine.
We'll take 3.
Yeah, that's right. We'll take it in a large. I presume they'd need to size them by the person who's wearing it.
Mm-hmm. Unless they're very stretchy.
Right. They have a lot of plasticity.
Yes.
To quote from yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know, let's see, jumping up to 8 down, target of the 1890 Sherman Act, trust?
I thought it was trust. Like it was an antitrust law.
Yeah.
And yeah, it turned out that was correct.
That's that's what saved me in that corner.
Oh, really?
Because I saw Sherman Act, and I vaguely had the recollection of antitrust.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure why they were against trust, because that's what it sounds like. But in any event, it turned out to be trust, and that just gave me enough to sort of solve that part of the crossword.
Very good. Very good.
We had 48 across. 46 across. Home of the Cotahuasi Canyon, which is more than 2 miles deep. That's impressively deep.
Yeah.
And the answer was Peru.
Peru.
It was 4 letters, and I thought, it's got to be Peru, because I can't think of any other 4-letter countries. Chad. But somehow Peru sounds more like it would have deep canyons. Chad to me sounds a little bit flatter somehow.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. If we have any people from Chad who are listening, please drop us a line. And if you want to include a topographical map to set us straight as to how flat or unflat Chad is, we would be appreciative.
I've never heard anyone describe a country geography by what its name is. like Peru. Oh, yeah, it sounds like it would have a 2-mile deep canyon.
Well,
but Chad sounds flat.
Yeah, but if you look at the letter P, right, there's that long tail that could possibly go down, 2 miles. But if you look at the word Chad, all of those letters look like they are built to stay level.
Oh, okay.
There's absolutely no scientific rationale for what I just said, but I'm sticking with it anyway.
35 down. That would be maybe apropos now. Fess up.
Admit it. Yes,
Admit it.
That was cute. Yeah. And the one next to it, totes adorbs. Too cute. I tried to work twee into the answer.
Oh.
like so twee,
Yes.
but I would have needed one more E.
Yes.
And one of those was taken up by 57 across, be on the precipice, teeter.
Teeter.
A lot of E's in that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I liked 14 down. 14 down was people always getting favorable news coverage, media darlings.
That is true. Yeah, that was a great clue and a good answer. Yeah.
And a debut.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Very good.
For the record, cheap as dirt, which should have been cheap as borscht. Media darlings, MOCAP suit were all debuts. And also 55 across, how Mario introduces himself in video games. It's a me.
Yes.
I'm assuming that doesn't offend people of Italian nationality or ancestry.
I have no idea.
It's in the New York Times, so I'm presuming they ran this by a few people first.
I am ashamed to say I knew that because I had children when that came out, and that was so popular.
Well,
that's the reason I knew Gotta Catch 'Em All, because, man, Pokemon, that was a big thing when our kids were growing up.
Well, this says introduces, so presumably it's still going on.
Probably every game that they make of Mario Brothers, he comes out and says, "It's a me."
Which would suggest to me that it's probably not considered an insult by anyone.
Oh, no, I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, he is a fictional character.
Well, that's true, but I mean, some people have been grousing about the latest Snow White and the Seven Dwarves movie because they had CGI dwarves, and although they apparently consulted with people who have dwarfism, and they were okay with it.
Oh, interesting.
Apparently. Let's see. 30 down, the country represented by the Black Star of Africa, Ghana.
Ghana, yes.
Did you get that right away?
I thought it was Ghana.
Really?
I didn't have the G, but I had the ANA, so I thought it's got to be Ghana.
Right.
So,
I've never seen the Black Star of Ghana.
No, me either.
I'm assuming that's some sort of a symbol or icon on a flag, and not like it sounds like it could be a diamond. The Black Star of Africa. Like, sounds like it could be a diamond in some mystery where there's some curse associated. It's the Black Star of Africa.
Ooh,
That's right. Whoever disturbs it will get an extra head or something.
Oh, dear, yes.
42 down was a gimme for me. Features of the sci-fi planet Arrakis. Dunes.
Dunes.
Was that also a gimme for you?
No, that was not. I had to work on that one.
Yes, good old Arrakis.
As I did 46 down, animal skin in Aleut Parka.
Yes.
I thought it was probably parka or anorak, but anorak didn't fit. So I put in parka, and it was right.
Indeed. 49 down, Eminem hit, whose title became a neologism for fan, was Stan.
Stan. I didn't know where that originated.
Yeah.
Stan, that's been in the puzzles quite a while now.
Right.
But yeah, from Eminem.
Yes.
That's amazing.
And 54 down, the therapist organization was the APA.
Yep.
I originally went ATA, American Therapist Association. Made sense to me.
No, it's psychological.
Yes. All right. Well, this was a fine crossword.
Yep.
It was by Boaz Moser and Jacob Reed, both of whom have done 2 crosswords, had 2 published in the New York Times.
Oh, so this is just their third?
This is actually their second.
Their second?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow. Well done.
Yes.
Well
yes,
done,
indeed.
you two.
All right. Well, I think that's it for the crossword.
Okay.
But it's Friday.
Yes, it is.
Which means it's time for Fun Fact Friday.
Do.
And do you have a fact for Fun Fact Friday?
I do have a little fact for Fun Fact Friday.
Excellent.
On Wednesday, both you and I were kind of stumped by the very first clue, one across.
Me? Stumped? Really?
Yep.
Okay.
Big acronym in insurance.
Oh, yes.
And it was AFLAC.
It wasn't Aetna. It wasn't Geico.
No.
It wasn't any of those other things I invented. Yes.
It was AFLAC, which stands for
Drum roll. Okay.
American Family Life Assurance Company.
Whoa.
So, and
That's why they abbreviated it.
Yeah, they are headquartered in Columbus, Georgia. But what I want to talk about is their mascot, which is a duck called the AFLAC duck.
Okay.
Since December 1999, the company's identity and brand has become more widely recognized in the United States as a result of TV commercials featuring the AFLAC duck, who quacks the company's name with frustration to unsuspecting prospective policyholders. The duck concept and all the commercials to date have been created by the Kaplan Thaler Group, an advertising agency based in New York City. Metzler Farms, a Gonzales, California waterfowl and game bird hatchery, supplied them with the initial ducklings that each grew into the famous duck. Struggling to come up with a concept to make the big but relatively obscure insurance company's name memorable, one of the agency's art directors stumbled upon the duck idea while walking around Central Park at lunchtime, uttering AFLAC, AFLAC. He soon realized how much the company's name sounded like a duck's quack. So
wow.
The AFLAC duck character has now starred in more than 30 commercials, and in many of them, character actor Earl Billings also appears. The AFLAC duck is enshrined on Madison Avenue's Walk of Fame as one of America's favorite advertising icons. And of course, the AFLAC duck is in the AFLAC logo. It's the word AFLAC, but in front of the word is a duck, a real duck, not like an icon duck, but an actual duck. So, really good representation. There have been a number of celebrities that have starred in AFLAC ads, including Chevy Chase, Yogi Berra, Yao Ming.
Yogi Berra?
Yeah. Yao Ming.
When did they start advertising? Isn't he like 125 years old?
Yeah, I think he has passed on.
Okay.
But since 1999, he was still around.
Wow.
Yao Ming. Melania Trump was in an AFLAC ad in 2005.
Okay.
NASCAR Cup Series driver Carl Edwards. The U.S. Olympic synchronized swimming team, and Wayne Newton played at the Stardust Hotel and Casino for a 2003 commercial. The duck also appeared with Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Wile E. Coyote, the Roadrunner, and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. In 2005, the company logo was changed to incorporate the duck. And the first commercial using the new logo featured Gilbert Gottfried at a pet store because the duck kept saying AFLAC, and he had to trade in the duck for a parrot saying, "If you're hurt and can't work." So, and then eventually that actor, Gilbert Gottfried, was the voice of the duck for many years. But then because of some comments he made after the Japan tsunami that were not very tactful, they got rid of him. They then decided in 2011 to take applications for a new AFLAC duck voice, and they actually hired Daniel McKeague, a television advertising sales manager from Hugo, Minnesota, and he has been the AFLAC duck since. So I just thought those were rather interesting, fun facts about AFLAC.
I find that
AFLAC. The AFLAC duck.
Sounds like it's barking.
No, but anyway.
And no mention of Ben Affleck.
No.
That's a shame. I tell you.
Yeah, he would be the perfect spokesman. But
yes.
Anyway, but yes, if you ever are looking for things to look at on the internet, go to the AFLAC,
Wikipedia?
Wikipedia, that's where I got my information, but you can go to the actual website and see the icon of the AFLAC duck. That's it. So,
right.
And there's a huge building in Columbus, Georgia, with the duck right on the top of it.
Mm-hmm.
So, there you go.
Well, that's very interesting. And it reminds me of a lesson that apparently a lot of executives have learned the hard way. You want the representative of your company to not be a human being. They sort of messed it up when they were able to associate the voice that should just be a totally anonymous
Yes,
voice. And that way, in case that person does something horrible, you can just get rid of them.
Right.
And it's just always safer to have a CGI animated whatever, as long as
no celeb voice.
no celeb voice. I think the big lesson came from Subway.
Yeah.
I think with Subway with Jared, that went horribly wrong.
Yep.
And so I'm glad AFLAC managed it a little bit better.
Yep.
But all right. Well, that is it for today.
Okay.
Thanks, everyone, for listening. Remember, we love it when you give us 5-star reviews wherever you happen to be listening to this podcast.
That'd be great.
Helps more people find out about us. And we will be back again with our cutting-edge analysis of Saturday's crossword tomorrow.
Bye-bye.